You are listening to what should have been Das Bundesliga Show on the Lock Betting Podcast. Instead, we are doing a combination of today's Bundesliga games and the usual European show. So we had an issue yesterday. I've given access to my colleague Cav to the Lock Betting Podcast feed on Spreaker because he was uploading the WWE preview of Clash at the Castle. He couldn't get into the account because I had to verify his device. And when I did that and then tried to upload my Bundesliga show, he then needed to verify my device and he was asleep because of the time difference. So his device that I verified essentially overrode my device, and my device needed to be verified again by him, who became the master contributor to the account. So it's a bit of a mess. We have contacted Spreaker about it to say that, look, we are two people who live in two completely different parts of the world, and we both need access to the account. I think that's what's throwing the account off, because usually you would have one person in London, and yes, they could have an iPad, they could have a laptop, they could have another phone, and they would be using the account, and it would make sense. We are two people from California and London trying to access the same podcast account, and the account isn't having it. So it's either I verify him or he verifies me, and we couldn't get in. So we did email, and I think the problem has been rectified. But just to be sure, what's happening is that Cav knows to expect this podcast at this time, 1 p.m. UK time, and he's going to get up and make sure that it gets posted. So if you're listening to this, everything has come to fruition. So we are going to start in Germany with those two remaining Bundesliga games, just so this has a Bundesliga flavour to it. I wouldn't necessarily say that either of these two games would have made it to the usual European show format, where we take a selection of key games that we like and break them down on the show, but we're going to put them on here anyway. The same for the Serie A games on Monday. I use that as a little bit of a hook to get the Sports Gambling Podcast people over to the European show, because as you guys know, it is a very good show. So I decided to leave three games out. Again, we wouldn't usually do that. We wouldn't just take a bulk amount of Serie A games and just put them on the European show. So this is a very different European show. Well, first of all, it's a Bundesliga European show combination. So next week, everything will be back to normal. There'll be a Bundesliga show covering the Bundesliga show. The European show will be elite picks. It will be a selection of hand-picked picks that I really like on the European show. And then, of course, you'll have Scommessa Italia and the EPL show as well. Don't forget, of course, in midweek, there are 4 Champions League shows. So we'll be doing the future show again, but with a lock on it. There'll be a key game show that goes out on the Soccer Gambling Podcast. And then individually for lockbetting.com Patreons, there will be a show on Tuesday breaking down all of Tuesday's games with a separate lock. There'll be a show also on Wednesday breaking down all of Wednesday's games with a separate lock. And then on Thursday, there will be a Europa League show. And that takes the format of the European show, where we look all around the Europa League and the Europa Conference League, and we break down a small hand-picked selection of games that we really like. So that one copies the format of the popular European show. So that's what's coming up. Everything will get back on track. It wasn't helped by the fact that I was away this week in Cardiff for 4 days, but everything will get back to normal as of now, or as of after this show. This obviously is not normal. I reiterate, this is not what we would normally be doing. We start with the game here between Augsburg and Hertha Berlin, where Augsburg are the 7-5 favourites. It's 5-2 on the draw, and it's 9-5 here on Hertha Berlin. Two teams in Germany who will just be looking to be in the Bundesliga next season. So I'm expecting a little bit of a cagey affair here. I like the value on the draw. You've got two sides who'll be scrapping for relegation. Neither one of them want to lose to each other. With 2 and 3 goals respectively, Hertha and Augsburg are among the Bundesliga lowest scorers, and 6 of the last 9 head-to-head counters have produced under 2.5 goals. So both of those selections stick out to me. The draw is worth doing because it's 5-2 plus 250, and we cashed a big draw yesterday on Everton and Liverpool at plus 450. So We're in draw mode today, and I like the look of this one. And the under, you'll have to lay some juice on that selection. It is at 7-10. But again, I don't see these two teams producing 3 goals in what will be an early 6-pointer to survive in the Bundesliga this season. Up next, we move on to the game between Borussia Mönchengladbach and Mons, where Borussia Mönchengladbach are the 6-4 favourites to win this game. It's 5-2 on the draw, and it's 7-4 here on Mons. These two teams are a little bit more closely matched by the books than I would have them here in Borussia Mönchengladbach. I think there is a home advantage here for Gladbach. They're coming off a good result against Bayern Munich as well, and I think they can continue their unbeaten start to the season here. I would be taking them as a pick at 4-5 minus 125. The visitors did win both of their away games this season. However, they'll face a much tougher test here against Borussia Mönchengladbach than they did when they won away to Augsburg and Bochum, two teams who are going to be struggling down the bottom of the league. Both teams could score in this game, though. This could be an attacking game. 3 of Gladbach's last 4 home victories saw both teams score. And the same could be said in 4 of the last 5 home head-to-head encounters with Mons. So if you're looking for a scoreline where both teams score, Gladbach to win this game, something like 2-1, is available at 9-1 here for this one. So no real strong lean, but I do think there's value on Borussia Mönchengladbach as a pick in the draw no bet market here, and they are available at 4-5. Up next, we move across to France and we look at this game between Stade Reims versus Lens, where Stade Reims are available here at 9-4. It's 5-2 on the draw, and Lens are the 5-4 favourites to win the game. We are not interested in who wins this game here. We are interested in the goals, and most importantly, both teams managing to score them. Now, the last 6 meetings have seen both teams score in 5 of them. Stade Reims haven't kept a clean sheet in this fixture in the last 6. The recent form is also positive. Stade Reims haven't kept a clean sheet in their last 7 and have seen both teams to score in every single one of their last 6. Lens come into this without a clean sheet in their last 3 and have seen more than 2.5 goals in 4 of their last 5, with both teams scoring in 4 of their last 5. So both teams to score here being priced up at the price of 7-10 seems like an absolute steal for this game. We're going to jump on it here for this game between Stade Reims and Lens. Both teams to score is your lean here at the price of 7-10. We stay in France here and we look at the game between Nice and Monaco, where Nice are the 19-10 underdogs here. It's 5-2 on the draw, and it's 13-10 here on Monaco. Again, we are interested in the goals, and we will be taking over 2.5 goals here for this one. Monaco have been one of the most inconsistent teams in the league. They've gone away and got themselves a point in Paris, and then they come home and lose to Troyes. So nobody really knows what to do with Monaco, except for there will be goals in their games, probably at both ends as well. Nice have conceded in all 5 of their league matches played so far, whereas Monaco have conceded in all of their last 8 League One away games. And over 2.5 goals has landed in all of Monaco's last 3 visits to this Allianz Riviera Stadium. So we're going to ride that, take the over 2.5 goals. It's available for you at the price of 4-5 minus 125 here for this one. Up next, we do jump across to Italy and we do cover those Italian fixtures for you that were not on Scommessa Italia. We begin with the game between Monza and Atalanta, where Monza are the 17-4 underdogs looking for their first win of the season. It's 16-5 on the draw, and Atalanta are the 4-6 favourites to win this game. Atalanta are currently the leaders in Serie A, and I did say at the start of the season, wow, people have really jumped off the Atalanta train. They were way down in terms of the favourites to win the league. They weren't even fancied to make a challenge for a Champions League spot, and I thought this was way too dramatic. I will ride Atalanta again to pick up a win in this one, as they look like the Atalanta from the season before last. Atalanta took 2/3 of their Serie A points on the road last season and have won each of their 2 away games since the restart this season. They have claimed 10 points from their first 4 games, while Monza have suffered 4 consecutive defeats. And the only team to get anything from Atalanta were last season's champions AC Milan. So great price here. Not sure why we're getting it, but we'll jump on it. We're going to take Atalanta to win this game at 4-6 minus 150. Nice and simple selection here for this one. Up next, we look at the game between Salernitana and Empoli, where Salernitana are the 6-5 favourites. It's 12-5 on the draw and it's 9-4 on Empoli. I had Empoli as my dark horses to go down this season. I saw massive regression from them, even towards the second half of last season, and then they made some changes in terms of their foundations, managerial changes and changes upstairs in the summer. I didn't like any of that, and I could see this team going down. But here it's difficult to back a Salernitana team to win, and it's even more difficult to back the goals in this one. So we're going to go against the goals and take under 2.5 goals. This is because 7 of the last 10 competitive matches to feature Salernitana have contained under 2.5 goals, as have all 5 of Empoli's outings since the restart. So that's very different to the Empoli that we saw at the start of last season. First 4 months, it was just over 2.5, and both teams are scoring over 2.5. Bang, bang, bang. They weren't necessarily winning those games, but they were involved in goal fests and they were scoring against everybody. We don't see that anymore. So my opinion in the summer seems to be on track. Only 2 teams have conceded fewer goals in Serie A than Salernitana this season. And only 2 sides have created fewer expected goals than Empoli. So big shift for Empoli. Still think they could go down. And I love the under 2.5 goals in this one. We're getting it at plus money, at even money, plus 100. So we'll take that here for this one. Final game is between Torino and Lecce, where Torino are the 7-10 favourites to pick up the home win on the money line. It's 14-5 on the draw, and it's 4-1 here on Lecce. Torino should win this game. They are a team who are solid mid-table outfit in Serie A, and I expect them to win home games like this. They have won 3 of their 5 competitive games this season, while Lecce have failed to win since gaining promotion. Torino have lost just 3 of the last 13 league games either side of the summer break. So I fancy Torino to ride that form into this game and pick up the win here at home. Only Napoli and Roma have won in Torino since February. So these types of teams are not winning here, and I expect nothing to change here. So another simple pick, Torino on the money line, and that's your selection here for this one. Closing out with your lock on the show. Lots of stuff I actually like. A couple of selections there in Italy. Nothing really stands out in Germany, but I think the big pick for me, the easy lock, is going to be from France, and we're going to take both teams to score in the game here between Stade Reims and Lens. As I said, overwhelming data for both teams to score. Both teams have scored in 6 of Stade Reims' last 6 games. They don't have a clean sheet in 7. Both teams have scored in 4 of the last 5 Lens games, and the head-to-head record will tell you that this selection should cash as well, as it is cashed in 5 of the last 6 matches. So if this doesn't cash, that'll be very, very surprising. It will go completely against the data, completely against this season's data, completely against previous heads-to-heads, and against the way these 2 teams are playing this season as they like to attack. That's it for me. Good luck of all your bets as always, and thanks for listening.